Alright, today I thought we'd dive into some Fallout drama. Fallout drama that's hotter than a deathclaw in a microwave, for whatever that means. Because Fallout New Vegas veteran Chris Avellone just dropped some spicy takes about Bethesda's stewardship of the franchise. And yes, it involves root causes, theme parks, and speech skills that apparently don't work the way they used to. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into it. You may be saying to yourself, who the hell is Chris Avellone? Are you even saying his name right? I don't know. But Chris Avellone isn't some random guy off the street or on Twitter yelling about, I don't know, the New Vegas lore being broken, which it's not. Go ahead, argue that in the comments. But you might think he's some random guy off the street yelling about his favorite game. Well, he's the guy who helped design Fallout 2 and was a major creative force in Fallout New Vegas, which is one of the most beloved RPGs of all time. I know that because I just wrote it in the script. He also worked on classics like Planescape Torment. So when he talks Fallout, people listen. But here's the kicker. He recently made some comments about Bethesda's handling of Fallout that, let's just say, got a lot of attention. When asked on social media whether Bethesda hates Fallout, Avellone gave a reply that was both direct and diplomatic, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say. He says, "I don't think Bethesda hates Fallout. They just don't fully understand its roots, and arguably, they don't care." And you know what? I kind of agree with that. I don't think Bethesda hates Fallout. Of course they like it. It's probably fun to work on, and it makes them lots of money. Who would like that? But the translation of what Chris Avellone said is pretty much, Bethesda didn't write a hate letter to the franchise, but Pete and Todd might have misplaced the instruction manual somewhere between Skyrim and Elder Scrolls 6. You can talk about where Fallout lost its way down in the comments between those two games. I know a lot of you are going to say Fallout 76. Anyways, he specifically criticized Bethesda for focusing on their own spin. Something he says often comes out as what he calls a colorful shadow theme park version of Fallout. Well, what the hell does that mean? A theme park? Like Nuka World? Avalon's point isn't that the games are bad. They're not. But that they lean into some spectacle and accessibility over the heavier tone and deeper RPG mechanics fans of the originals look for. He did praise some Bethesda DLCs like Far Harbor, Point Lookout, and yes, even The Pit, which is probably my least favorite, just because it's in Pittsburgh and I like Pittsburgh. Screw Pittsburgh. He called these rare moments that felt closer to the older Fallout vibe. But the overall message was this: Bethesda's version of Fallout plays more like blockbuster rides than old school role-playing storytelling. So he's like, this is fun, but it's kind of shallow and there's no depth to it. And before you think he's just burning it all down, he actually gave Bethesda credit. There are things they do well, like open world exploration. And yes, Bethesda does open world exploration very well. Look at all the Elder Scrolls games. Look at Fallout. Fallout is huge open world. But then it got spicy. He said, and there are things they do badly. Telling linear stories in open world games and their inability to understand how to use the speech skill. Which I am forced to agree with him on. Yeah, aversion to linear storytelling isn't what people came to Fallout for. And speech checks that actually matter, that used to be a thing you could brag about at parties. But only parties with other Fallout fans. You just don't want to show up to a party and be like, hey, I passed a speech check. And they'll be like, all right, go back to your basement. Your mom's got the Hot Pocket. Whatever. In New Vegas, investing in speech could literally change outcome. In modern entries, not so much. This is a big part of what Avellone means by understanding the roots. And here's why people are talking about this now. Fallout is huge again, thanks to the Amazon Prime series, and the Fallout community is split between lovers of the original RPG feel and fans who enjoy the newer, more cinematic approach. Avallone's comments hit right in the middle of this debate. It's also worth noting that while Avallone's comments were deleted from social media, they were not forgotten, and just go to the Wayback Machine. The Wayback Machine remembers all. Now, what do fans think about this? You get responses from everything from, yeah, duh, we always knew that, to who asked, which is the worst, dumbest, and laziest response I've ever heard. Who asked? Doesn't matter. Worst response ever. It just goes to show how dumb you are. The point is, people are passionate. Some agree that Fallout used to feel grittier and more morally ambiguous. Others say the games evolve. Sure, why not? That's okay too. Yeah, alright. What do we make of all this? Avellone isn't saying Bethesda is evil, like I have. He's saying they've taken Fallout in a direction that's broader, lighter, and maybe less rooted in classic RPG DNA. He also isn't wrong. Fallout 3 and 4 feel very different from Fallout 1 and 2 and New Vegas. And at the end of the day, people still enjoy these games, even if they're not the same as the originals, which Avellone himself said as much. But tell me, what do you think? Is Fallout better as this theme park that Avellone came up with, or is the soul of the series lost somewhere in the Mojave? Drop your take in the comments. Keep it classy. Don't say who asked. That's dumb. It will always be dumb. Be creative. This isn't a nuclear launch code debate yet. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more of this. And don't forget to go over to RickGamesExtra, where I do gaming history and little-known gaming facts. And as always, stay frosty. Kind of hard not to with the snow falling, my kids getting called off school. But whatever. Alright, bye.